Hey there, I'm Mark, and today I'm going to show you how you can add new shapes to your Affinity Designer, how we can save our shapes so we can use them later or even send to somebody so they can use them. Before we will start, you can download the shapes you can see right now on my screen. So I'm still designing here. I'm going to create around 20 new shapes, and then I'm going to add them as assets to our program so we can use them anytime and they will remain as editable vectors. So if you want to grab shapes from this video, you can simply head to the description and follow the link. You can download them for free and use them with your Affinity Designer. Meanwhile, as you can see, I'm simply remixing different shapes. So I'm using this shape tool. The shape tool in Designer is quite good. So I'm using shape tool plus node tool plus corner tool here to create several new shapes. It will be really useful for me if I can keep all of them and use them later. Maybe you got this one shape you're constantly using for many projects and you just want to add it to your tool set so you don't need to draw it from scratch again and again. Or maybe you draw some really nice shapes on your iPad and now you want to move that to the desktop version of the program. That's not a problem. We can use something called asset library. There's a built-in asset library for us to keep our favorite vector shapes. So I'm almost done with designing new shapes. I think just a few more, then I'm going to nicely group them and we'll be ready to add everything to the asset library. Alright, just few more shapes. Using geometry tools, using node tool, I remix existing shapes into new ones. As I mentioned, you can grab this set, description. You could of course simply reopen this document every time you need some shapes from here and just copy and paste, but there's a better method. So let me just finish with this. I think I'm ready now. So we got, what's that, 20 new shapes. Now I will need to open Asset Studio. So let's go up here to View menu. We need to open Additional Studio, the one from Assets. Turn it on. It's pop up on the left side by default. I will create a new category, so I got blank space. And now I'm ready to simply select all of my shapes and add to this group here. I will just change the name of it first. So we got some extra shapes here. Select all of my shapes. You can do it one time, you don't need to add them one by one, and then simply add from selection. And as you can see, all of my shapes are now in my asset panel. That's really cool because the Affinity Designer will remember that I already add them as assets. Even I open a brand new document, I will be able to see all of my shapes. And when you got your asset panel open, I can simply drag and drop my shapes from here. Here it is, shield without drawing. And this is still 100% vector. I can modify the color of this shape easily, add stroke to it, and if I really want, I can even grab a node tool and modify nodes on them. Here's the arrow, the one that I always need, the corner arrow that is not existing in Affinity Designer. I can simply drag and drop this from the asset panel, and here it is. I can use node tool and modify the shape if I really need. So this is still 100% vector, nothing is locked here. We can modify the shape and the one inside the asset panel will stay the same. We are not destroying our shapes that we already saved in the asset panel. Alright, so that's a really handy method of keeping your shapes. If you spend a lot of time drawing some very interesting shape, you need to keep that for later, use asset panel. Create a new blank category and start keeping your asset right now. You can keep asset across many projects and grow your own personal shape library this way. Alright, here it is, another asset. I simply drag and drop this stuff. I can modify the color. I can use node tool to modify the shape as well. The thing is, if you keep doing that, you will probably end up with even more shapes and you can simply grab them and add them to your library again the modified versions. Okay, how to save this stuff? Let's rename this whole category. So we got extra shape by crew mark, and by default it will stay in your designer, but we can also export that and create a file with my asset. So export this asset file, and this way I can remove them. Take a look, I just removed these assets and I can import them back from the file. Here it is, there's a file, and I can open that, and here they are, all of my additional shapes. So you can grab this file, the link is in the description, and use the same method as I just showed you. Simply open your asset panel and import this asset file into your designer. This way you will get 20 more shapes. What you can do after you import my files, you can just keep adding your own. So if you build additional shape that is not on this list already, let's do something like that. All right, we got a new shape here. I will simply add this to my assets now. Click here, add from selection, and here it is, we got a new asset. This way you can keep growing your personal asset library. You can also use this method to exchange between your iPad and desktop version. You can send your own asset to yourself, or you can even sell them if you've got really good assets. Alright guys, that's what I want to show you. I want to show you that you can keep your shapes, keep your assets in the assets panel. You don't need to reopen all documents all the time and copy and paste your stuff. I hope this is helpful. If you'd like to learn more about Affinity software, don't forget to check my other videos or even subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next one. Bye.